Alright, hello guys, welcome back. With the release of Rite of the Nine, 3 dungeons from Destiny's past have been reprised with updated loot, new and harder difficulties, as well as additional and new mechanics that feature alongside them. And naturally, the harder difficulties offer the best loot, especially in the case of the brand new Ultimatum mode that drops exclusively adept variants of the featured dungeon weapons. This week, the available dungeon is Spire of the Watcher, so today I thought it would be a good idea to provide you with a full guide on Ultimatum mode and all of the new mechanical changes, as well as how to best optimize your damage for a super easy 2-phase on both of the bosses, plus some general loadout tips to help make your Ultimatum experience as smooth as humanly possible. Because if you're looking to earn the brand new Eternal title, then you'll have to complete each of the 3 dungeons every week on Ultimatum difficulty. One last thing before we dive into the guide, I just posted a full video detailing how the Rite of the Nine event works as a whole, so if you aren't sure about how certain things work in this new dungeon crawling experience, then definitely watch that video first, then come back to this one once you're fully clued up. So without further ado, let's get into it. Starting with the first encounter, there's a few general tips I can give to make your time a lot less stressful. The first is obviously to take care of the Cyclopses on the high ground first, since they have the ability to one-shot you if you're not careful, and second, supplicants only spawn in when you fully complete a node pathway. So to avoid spawning them all together, at least in the initial phase, try not to activate the last nodes located in the center of the map, and only do so once all the preceding nodes from all 4 chains have been activated. The first change made to the dungeon is that after completing the 4 sets of nodes, a giant Hydra boss spawns in, preventing you from progressing further. And it does have a fair amount of health, but we found the best way to deal with it is to have any warlocks on the team pop their Song of Flame super and just face tank the boss while melting it with Lord of Wolves, since despite the nerf, Lord of Wolves is still pretty good and will do you just fine here. Another general tip for this encounter and the whole dungeon in general is that trace rifles are a really good loadout choice for running and completing nodes, since they shoot straight and typically have really large magazines, preventing the need to reload very often, so definitely use one if you can. For the jumping puzzle section, it's best for your titans and hunters to skip ahead by either sword flying across with line rampants or shatter skating with stasis to reach the end of the puzzle quickly. But do keep in mind that there is also a hidden engram collectible in this zone located on one of the hanging platforms near the end of the puzzle, sitting on top of a computer module, so at least on your first run through, be careful not to miss this. Moving on to the next encounter, the first major change you'll see is the addition of an enrage timer that will wipe you once it reaches 0, but worry not, as this timer is actually very forgiving, and unless you really mess up, you'll never actually die to it. Besides that, the encounter plays mostly like normal, where you simply have to connect the 2 sets of nodes present per floor, but once you complete them, again similar to the opening encounter, before you can ascend to the next level, the elevators are blocked by a shield wall that can only be lowered by defeating a set of enemies that spawn in once you complete the nodes. For the first level, it's a group of mini-boss harpies, for the second level, it's a boss-level Hydra, and for the third level, it's a giant boss-level Minotaur. My recommendation for quickly dispatching these enemies is to make sure one of your warlocks places a well down for the second level Hydra boss, since it can and will melt you pretty fast, and from there on use either machine guns or even Queenbreaker to efficiently deal with it. And same goes for the Minotaur boss up top, any hard hitting special weapon like Choir of One or Lord of Wolves will do the job just fine. Just be careful of the mini boss Hydra that flies around the map during each floor, since if left alive, it too can hurt your team pretty badly. This encounter is also the first where the new dungeon scoring system is active, and if you want the best rewards, aka gold rewards, you're only allowed 1 death throughout the whole fire team during the entire encounter, so take things slowly and play your life, since that guarantees the best possible rewards. And also, if you are chasing the title, then you're required to achieve gold rewards on all 3 encounters, so don't be taking too many risks. After that, we're on to the first boss, Akelous, and the only real major change here is that you're now required to complete the 4 sets of nodes in a distinct order determined by inspecting the new Vex shapes located in the middle. For example, in this run, when reading from top to bottom, we had triangle, triangle, diamond, square, and above each of the starting nodes is a corresponding shape that indicates which one it pertains to, and you can only start DPS if you complete the nodes in the correct order specified. If you do a wrong node by mistake, a meltdown timer initiates and will wipe you once it hits 0. Besides that, the encounter remains the same as always, and getting to DPS is usually pretty rapid, so let's talk about that now. My team experimented with a few setups, but ultimately the best setup we found was running 3 Song of Flame Warlocks with each of us on Queenbreaker and Particle Reconstruction for the debuff. The beauty of Song of Flame is that it allows you to walk with the boss as it retreats to the middle, and because you have a 90% damage resistance while in Song, you barely receive a scratch and can focus purely on damage. If you're on Prismatic, you can pop your Transcendence before popping Song so that you also get the 5% weapon damage boost from it. If all 3 Warlocks use this strat, you will actually end up having enough damage to cause Akelous to stun and extend the damage phase even longer and prevent him from doing his blast attack. attack, making exiting damage a lot more safe while allowing you to play a lot closer to him to ensure you hit your shots. If all goes according to plan, your first phase should look a little something like this. Alright, start moving immediately as he pops. Start moving.
Let me go first.
Yeah, I'm going.
G.
Oh my god.
G
I thought I was over it. I took it up.
Yeah, G just fucking jumped into the fucking hole.
I thought I had it, bro.
Yeah, he's moving weird again. It's the unravel, I think.
I didn't
Yes!
unravel.
Come on! Oh, I'm out. Phoenix Hive, I got Phoenix Hive.
It's on.
Oh, that was really nice damage. Not bad at all. I
don't know.
Fucking take that.
Like that. Dude, are you speaking of
What?
really good damage on that,
I'm enjoying myself.
Fucking-
Man. So yeah, almost one-phasing the boss on Ultimatum mode is pretty nuts. And if you wanted, you could play it slightly more chill and place a well in the back, but in my opinion, this strat is a lot more rewarding and it means you're more likely to hit your damage, since the further away the boss gets, the harder it is to hit your crits. Please note that I will leave all damage loadouts for both Akelous and Persys in the description, so don't worry about that. So back to the fight. If your damage on first phase was really good, the second phase should be an easy cleanup and it's now time to move on to the final boss encounter. But before we do that, there's another change that the dungeon introduces that's worth noting during the descent into the reactor room. When you reach the first room with the new red set of nodes, instead of being able to hit all of them whenever you so please, you now have to hit them all in a specific order one by one, since all of them are initially closed and will only open once a prior node is activated. And the way to tell which node is next in line is by the flashing red light above it. So find the one with the light, activate it, then search for the next one with the light, activate that one, and so on and so on. This is important to keep in mind as this is how some of the nodes will now behave in the Persys encounter as well. Lastly, as you near the final drop down to the reactor room, the second hidden collectible is located here next to a pile of boxes. So again, be sure not to miss this as you also need these for the Triumph Seal too. Now onto the final encounter, we have Persys the Primordial Ruin. And this encounter is by far the hardest to survive in as there are many things like supplicants, detain harpies, and the boss himself to deal with that can all absolutely vaporize you. So for starters, before you even think about your damage strat, I'd recommend having at least one of your warlocks spec into healing and use things like Speaker Sight to help keep the team alive. Now, mechanics wise, the red flashing nodes are back and will once again require you to shoot them in order so that you can progress to the next stage of activating the yellow nodes, and much like Akelous, the yellow nodes again have to be done in order based on the floating shapes read from top to bottom, because if you don't, another meltdown timer will initiate. Upon activating the red nodes, a bunch of detain harpies or seekers will spawn in various corners of the map, so be sure to destroy those as quickly as you can, since if caught in a detain, all it takes is one supplicant to approach you, and at that point, I'm sorry bro, it's over.
Persys is on the thing.
Oh my god, man, how much health? Nice, man. Besides that though, the encounter remains mostly the same, so now let's get into how to optimize your damage. If you're looking for a super easy two-phase strat, you're going to need the following class composition. One Warlock running Song of Flame on Pure Solar with Apotheosis Veil, one Warlock running Well of Radiance with Sanguine Alchemy, and preferably a Titan running Storm's Keep with Cuirass of the Falling Star. The role of the Apotheosis Song Warlock is to stunlock Persys by repeatedly performing the snap melee combo, which causes frequent ignitions, which causes the boss to constantly stagger, preventing any and all attacks from him, leaving the team in complete and total safety. This even works on immune targets, by the way, and it's a rather underrated strength that Song of Flame has. However, the reason why you don't see it terribly often is because it only works on select bosses like, for example, the Herald of Finality and obviously Persys in this case. And alongside the stunning, it's also best if the Warlock runs Tractor Cannon to provide a 30% debuff for the team. As for the other two players, both of them should be running Grand Overture and just laying into the boss the whole time while he's stunned from behind a Storm's Keep barricade for extra bolt charge procs. Do remember to use Flashover from the artifact to boost your lightning bolt damage by 2.5 times, and if you're the Titan or Song of Flame guy, both of you need Limit Break as well so that your supers deal 30% more damage at base. If all goes according to plan, an optimal damage phase should look like so. Uh-oh, Jody. You alright?
Yeah, we're good. I have Vickers dash if I were to go up and after him.
Oh yeah, I got a barricade back because of Toidy's tongue. Tell me when I should crash.
Super.
Crash now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Let's get this two-phase.
Okay, calm the fuck down. We need two-phase.
So yeah, with another phase just like that, it's very easy to secure the two-phase kill, which is exactly what my team and I went on to do. But I can see some of you saying that this strat is a little complicated, so if you're wanting something a little more chill and laid back, then running a well with div and 2 queen breakers is also a very consistent 3-phase damage strategy, so you'll forfeit the 2-phase but will have less hassle in terms of loadouts. Though if you're willing to challenge yourself a little, do try our strategy and I promise you'll thank me. So that about does it for today's guide on how to optimize Ultimatum Spire of the Watcher. Like I said, there will be dim links for the damage loadouts in the description for you to copy them hassle-free, and I hope you enjoyed the guide. I'm going to be helping viewers get their full gold runs completed this week over on my Twitch, so if you'd like some help getting yours done, then do come say hi at twitch.tv/llama2 and I'll try my best to help you. Anyway, that's all for today. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now, dear viewer.